Hello, folks! Are you ready for another daily dose of Reddit? Today we're going to tackle a couple of stories that have to do with mental health and how it can affect the relationship. So grab your cup of coffee and your morning toast and let's do this. First, we have a woman whose husband is struggling with the birth of their second child. Here's the story. I, 40 female, and Hubs, 41 male, recently had a second child after a large age gap between our first child. The last few years have been difficult for our marriage, but has recently taken a turn for the worse since the arrival of our second child. We've been married for 15 years and have had a few ups and downs, but nothing like this. A few years ago, he took on another position, which has caused him a lot of stress. We are also experiencing some financial issues as well, despite making good money. Since finding out, he has had some outbursts that normally was once or twice a year, but has now increased to every few days. He has threatened to leave, has resorted to calling me names, which he's hardly ever done in the past, and has said he's unhappy many times. He was very hands-on with our first, and now acts like he doesn't know how to change a diaper. He doesn't help with feedings and barely holds him. With our first, he wouldn't put him down the first few months. His emotions seem all over the place, and he's quick to anger from like 0 to 60. He is set up to see his doctor soon to hopefully get him on medication. He rarely talks to me anymore. We haven't had relations because pregnancy was difficult and high risk. We don't sleep in same bed either. I miss my husband, I just don't know what to do anymore. This woman's account is pretty dire, but it isn't uncommon on Reddit, unfortunately. A lot of people struggle with the birth of a new child, and if that is compounded by other stress factors like work and finances, things can derail pretty fast. In this woman's case, there are a few issues that are contributing to the husband's behavior. A new baby in a relatively advanced age, a stressful career, and financial crisis. Those three issues can create a lot of turmoil on a person's mind. That shouldn't be an excuse for abusive behavior, however, and it's a good sign that the husband is searching for medical help. It indicates that he sees what's going on and is trying to fix the situation. Now, medication is good, but it only fixes the symptoms. It doesn't tackle the causes. In this case, the best way to address the husband's stress would be to actually tackle the work and financial situation. The wife states that they're having some issues even though they make good money. That might indicate that they're spending more than they earn, and perhaps some of those expenses could be reduced or eliminated. In this case, the best strategy is to put all past expenses on a piece of paper and see what can be done to balance the budget. When that happens, we can surprisingly find out that we're burning cash in superfluous purchases like food takeouts, brand clothing, or expensive makeup. Another good strategy is to do groceries once a week instead of once a month. By doing them more frequently, you focus on exactly what you need for that short period of time, and it prevents you from spending a ton of money on things you might want to consume that month. Now, if that's not enough, you might want to see if you can scale back on your lifestyle a little bit. Maybe you have 2 cars but only truly need 1. Selling one of the cars would save you the insurance money and get a safety net for unforeseen expenses. You could also cancel some streaming services you usually don't use, or that subscription of a magazine you don't actually read. Remember, scaling your lifestyle back doesn't need to be a bad thing if you focus on getting back on your feet. Finally, we need to address the work situation. Sometimes a better paying job is simply not worth it in the long run. Perhaps the money the husband is getting, he's spending on medical treatment or medicine. So maybe it could be time for him to check other career paths where he can have a less stressful work. There are several opportunities out there, and maybe by getting a job where he's happy and fulfilled might actually help him grow even more. Now about the wife, she disclosed a little bit more on the comment section. The pregnancy was a surprise. They were not trying to have a child or prevent one. She thought she was going through menopause. That might explain the husband's cold reaction to their second child. That shows us how much these issues need to be constantly addressed in a relationship. We just can't leave it to chance. If you don't want a child, and there's nothing wrong with that, you need to take the necessary precautions. So, now, this husband will need to go through all the stress of taking care of a baby. It's not going to be easy, but with time and perhaps some therapy help, he he can find a place in his heart for his new kid, just like he did with their first one. Now, our second account of the day is about a mother who wished her husband would be closer to her during the night. Here's the story. I had a baby about 6 months ago. She pretty much sleeps through the night in her bassinet that's set up next to my side of the bed. She goes to bed at 9:30 to 10 and will wake up around 6 a.m. and I'll put her in the bed with me, so she'll go back to sleep for a couple of hours. However, my husband keeps sleeping on the couch. I take her in for her bath around 8:45 p.m., and when I come out from putting her to sleep, he is usually either sleeping on the couch or he is getting ready to sleep on the couch. He has done this for months now, at least 2, but probably closer to 3. He wakes up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym, and he was originally saying that his alarm will wake up the baby, but it doesn't. I keep asking him to please come and sleep in the bedroom, but he ignores me or says he'll start next week. The baby coming into the bed isn't a factor because by the time she wakes up and I move her into our bed, he's gone for the day. She also doesn't wake up throughout the night anymore, so he's not being woken up at night. He also gets mad at me because I told him that I'm only going to have sex with him if he sleeps in the bed. I'm not trying to be vindictive. It just feels very weird and disconnected to have sex and then go to sleep in separate rooms. He might sleep in the bed once or twice a week, but every other night he sleeps on the couch. Now, this story may seem simple, but there are some layers to it. First, we have a conflicting schedule. The husband usually sleeps from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. The wife sleeps from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Because of that, she stated in the comments section she can only be with her husband for 2 hours every day before going to sleep. And they don't have any intimacy problems, even though she stated that she feels weird being intimate with her husband, only to have him sleep on the couch. There are also other rooms in the house, and the kid already has a room prepared for her when the parents decide to move her to her own room. OP said they'd discuss the issue when their daughter was 6 months old, which is right around the corner. This story has 2 main issues in it: a communication problem and a love language situation. By her account, she seems to be a physical touch person, which means she needs her partner to be near her to feel connected. By having his presence nearby, even if he's asleep the entire night, she'd feel more secure and loved. That, in itself, is something the husband should be taking a good look at. By her account, he won't wake at night with the baby's movement, so sleep deprivation doesn't seem to be an issue. Because of that, a good and honest conversation between the two would help sort this issue. If the husband realized how important it is for his wife for him to just be nearby, he could understand it and go back to their room, even without her no intimacy threat. But if that still doesn't work, she could just wait a little more and then solve the situation by having their daughter sleep in her own room. So, what were your experiences when you had kids? Did you sleep in the same room? Or did you go sleep in a different room like this husband? Please share your experiences with us. It actually can make a difference in another viewer's life. If you enjoyed this video and would like to get notified when we upload our newest content, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. And if you want to see more real-life Reddit stories, check the videos popping up on your screen right now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here at the Academy of Love.